The poultry farming journey, there are good and bad seasons. So in this video I'm going to share with you the money that I spent on feeds raising this chicken from day 1 to 4 months, 3,000 birds, and the medicine that I bought from day 1 up to 4 months. I normally feed my chicken pellet for 7 days, so they consumed 150 kilograms, and the amount of money was 435,000 Ugandan shillings. Those are $117.05 for 7 days. So the second week I start to mix up the chicken feeds. So I used 100 kilograms of maize bran, 100 kilograms of broken maize, and 50 kilograms of a broiler concentrate. So they consumed those feeds for 5 days, and the amount of money was 480,000 Ugandan shillings. Those are $110. Every day they increase on the kilograms or the size. You have to increase on the kilograms of feeds that you have to mix. So the third week I mixed up 300 kilograms of maize bran, 300 kilograms of broken maize, 50 kilograms of a broiler concentrate, 55 kilograms of fish meal, and a quarter salt. I just tried to use salt so that they can increase on the consumption of feeds, but you can skip the salt. The amount was 937,600, making $253.04. So to summarize the cost of feeds, in the first 2 months they consumed, or we spent, 8,247,900 Ugandan shilling, making $2,229.02. Those were the first 2 months, from day 1 to 2 months. So the last 2 months where we are now, they have made 4 months. So they consumed 7,790,400, making $2,106. The reason why they consumed, we spent less amount of money in the last 2 months, because these chicken were sick. We had an outbreak and they could not consume the feeds as more as we expected because of the sickness, because of the outbreak. So they would have spent more money on the feeds, which didn't happen. But the last month, the 50th month, I'm sure that they are going to consume a lot of feeds to compensate the time they didn't eat during the sickness. So the total amount of money that we have just spent on the chicken feeds from day 1 to 4 months is 16,038,300. Those are the total costs for the feeds. There was also the cost of medicine from day 1, whereby we had to buy the glucose, we had to buy the vitamins, we had to buy some antibiotics, and from there we got an outbreak that there was much money spent on the amount of money that bought the medicine. We bought doxin, coli, erythromycin, gumbo stop, oxytravate, elicona, many medications that we used. But the total amount of money that was spent on the medication was 2,494,200 just for medication. No vaccines, no other expenses like buying drinkers, buying feeders. All of those things were on the farm, from the feeding trays of day 1 to the feeding trays where they have growing chicken or medium sizes. All those things, all raw materials, were on the farm, so we could not buy anything. And that is not the end of expenditure. We still have the full month of raising these birds before they lay the eggs that we expect them to lay. So that full month they consume almost double of the feeds they've been consuming for the past 4 months, because now they are gaining the weight, they're making eggs, they eat a lot, the drinking water, it is too much. So for us, we have a tank, and normally the money we spend on water bills is very little. But while starting a poultry farming journey as a farmer out there, make sure that poultry should rely on the amount of money you have on your account. Don't expect that so and so promised me to give me such and such amount of money, so I will use that money in the future. Do not think that way, because you might plan the right way and you get a disease that requires you to get some good money. They need feeds, they need the medication, and they have to stay eating. So that stress, you should avoid it. Make sure that you have the money to raise the birds. It is not for the weak if you're going to raise a lot of birds. Make sure that once you start raising chicken, you start with a number of birds there that you can manage. If you think of raising 500, start with 300. If you're thinking about 200, it's better to start with 100, because once you start, they cannot give you a day without spending. So if you didn't set yourself, that is your downfall, because you cannot sell those birds after 3 months. It is very hard to find someone who wants those birds, especially if you're raising like 500 chicken and you're interested in selling 3 months old birds. It is really very hard. Now people are selling those birds, but to find someone, you under pressure, you want to sell them because you have no feeds, it is really hard. And it is very easy to get the market for the off layers. You can get more than 5 people to buy those off layers, but the chicken that are still growing. So before you start, make sure that you're ready. We all face challenges in poultry farming, but in your journey, make sure that at least you appreciate the little that you get from poultry. Your business will grow. I'm assuring you, if you're raising birds for eggs, chicken for eggs, you can get your money back if you planned well. Secondly, if you fed your chicken very well. Third, if you bought quality chicks. There is no gambling when it comes to feeding. Quality birds means quality feeds. So that is when you're going to get the results. Medication is a must. Whoever tells you that for me I don't treat chicken, that is a lie. Unless when you're raising 10 free-range chicken, or maybe 20, but sometimes even those 20, they can get sick during the seasons of outbreaks. So that is all for today. Please enjoy. Let's meet.